yeah, I guess I could talk a little bit more about the Greta Van Fleet concert. I expected it to be good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Like, my gosh, like it was. I felt like I was listening to the songs from the record and then some, because like they sound exactly like they do on the record. I have no idea if they had any kind of like backing track and stuff going on, but I imagine everything, at the very least, everything that was in the front of the mix of what they were playing was live, and all of that sounded absolutely incredible. I think they went for almost 2.5 hours when we saw them. We saw them when they were in Austin, Texas, on, I think it was May 6th, something like that. The pit experience is phenomenal. I actually knew someone who was in the pit there at the same time that we were there, but we were in the stands, and even from there, like, holy crap! It was an incredible experience. Their sound is amazing. Josh's vocals, they're incredible on the record. But, it's like one of those, like, okay, how does that translate live? Because your performance in the studio is going to be your best take. So how does that translate to a live performance? And it 100% translated to a live performance, like over and beyond my expectations for what I was expecting out of a live performance. Being someone who listens to a lot of like live performance recordings from bands that I enjoy, and I don't think they've ever like released on their streaming platforms. Like, I know there's recordings and videos and like high quality recordings of them like doing live performances, but not like, as far as I'm aware, on like Spotify and stuff like that. So I'd never, other than like a few clips and stuff I'd seen, and of course you have that meme from a few years ago where Josh is singing at some event that they were doing, and he has like the voice crack, and that's when that big meme blew up all over TikTok, which kind of, I think, inadvertently helped them and exposed them to so many more people, and really kind of like opened the floodgates for them and their popularity. But yeah, experiencing that live, and again, like you're sitting there, they're playing like The Archer, which was one of the songs I was like, oh, I really hope they play that. And then Jake takes the solo and extends it out for like 10 minutes. You're like, holy crap, this is incredible, which is obviously not a new thing for any live performance, but getting to watch that live was really cool. I'd never like gone to like something of that scale before. I've seen live performances before. I've, more like local stuff or things of that nature, but I'd never like gone to like a big venue, a big, place to go see a band perform like that. So and then, really they kind of like take a moment to give like all the members of the band a spotlight, and the keyboard to the drums to the guitar. Everyone kind of got like a moment to shine for like a good like 10-15 minutes. I'm trying to think, they did a little like acoustic section at one point, probably about like 3/4 of the way through the performance, because it was from like their first or second album that wasn't an acoustic song. Let me look up their first album. And they started playing it as a acoustic version. It might have been Black Smoke Rising. I'm pretty sure they played that one live when we were there. I was a little disappointed they did not play Safari Song. That was like my one, like, from their older albums, like the one song I wanted to hear, and they didn't play it. So a little disappointed, but I mean, it is what it is. Again, I was joking with my friends. I was like, oh, they didn't play Safari Song. The whole thing was ruined. But no, like, it was, again, like, even without that, every song that they played was incredible. Yeah, I think it was Black Smoke Rising. I think that was the one that they did. They did the acoustic version of. Again, yeah, I tickets were not outrageous for where we were sitting. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more, to be honest. And I think with the fee, ended up paying like $140 for tickets. The tickets themselves were $100, and then there was like a $40 fee from, I think it was StubHub, which is outrageous, but even still was not as bad as I was expecting. And I'm like, me personally, I am fully fine with spending that amount on a ticket to go see, again, a performance that was absolutely incredible. And knowing the current state of what music is, and like for these artists where it's like, oh, you're not you're not making your money back through album sales because no one's buying records, no one's buying CDs, no one's definitely buying these digital versions of the albums. You know, the only people who are buying the albums like physical are going to be the record collectors that are going to probably put it on their wall. I'm one of them. So, you know, beyond that, you're not making really, you're probably not making your money back on even what it was to produce the album, much less to just make any kind of living off of that. So yeah, you hike your prices up for touring. Stuff has to be more expensive. So again, and when it came to like buying the merchandise and stuff at the vendor, I was perfectly fine paying probably more than I would have otherwise for some of the things that I bought there, which was a poster, which is really cool poster, and a tour t-shirt. Yeah, all in all, I cannot recommend, if Greta Van Fleet comes anywhere close to you, or you think you're able to go see them, like, I can't recommend them enough. Like, they sound exactly like they do on the record, and then some. And they take the song that you already know, and you're like, oh, this is incredible, and then they extend it out, they add extra stuff to it, you know, and then just, again, there's the stage presence, the stage show, the effects that they have on the stage. One thing I really appreciated is, like, it is just them. It's just the 4 members of the band on the stage. It's not, oh, we have the backup singers, we have the people over here doing, you know, a horn section or whatever, like a lot of bands kind of have done in the past. I'm mostly thinking of Guns N' Roses from the mid-90s, who really went overboard with that. But, like, it is just them, those 4, creating what you're watching. Again, I imagine, even if there is some kind of, like, you know, sound effects in the background, the vast majority of it was coming from them. I like to believe all of it was coming from them, whether it was from the keyboards, guitar, drums, bass, vocals, what have you. Like, it absolutely blew my mind. It like has ignited for me kind of like wanting to go see more live performances as much as possible now, because now that I've like had that experience, it's like, oh, like I get it now. You know, it's one thing to like be a participant in it, like doing these live streams and stuff, and in the past when I have like played with other people like in person, there you do kind of feel that energy. You're like, oh, this is really great, this is really cool. Like there's no experience I can compare like playing the guitar while someone else is on the drums and someone else is on bass. Like, there's this, like, you're speaking a language to each other that's hard to kind of like describe if you haven't experienced that before. But to actually see something of that scale in person, mind-blowing in some ways, and again, of that caliber, specifically vocally, and that not only do they sound like that on the record, but they sound like that live. Yeah, incredible. And I would also say go see them as soon as possible, because when you're dealing with someone who is singing in those vocal ranges, as we've seen with other vocalists in the past, you know, you probably get a good 15, 20, maybe years out of that before their voice starts to really start losing its edge, just because, again, you're singing at such a high pitch. You know, how much damage does that do to your vocal cords over time? Granted, I don't think Josh is like singing at a more like raspy kind of edge to it either, so that may give him a little bit more longevity as opposed to an Axl Rose or someone like that. But yeah, go see them if you can. Cannot recommend them enough. Absolutely incredible performance.